What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So right now we have two real major options when it comes to reforming Social Security, and we've heard a lot about both of these different options. We're going to talk about them today, and we're going to focus on what we think will potentially happen in the future. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so we have two major options when it comes to Social Security, when it comes to reforming Social Security. We've been hearing this for months now, and now it's coming to a point where you have a bipartisan group of senators that are trying to figure out how to move forward with Social Security. Should we see an increase to Social Security? Should we see Congress focus only on Social Security reform and not deal with any type of an increase? So basically, they would just be focusing on the trust fund and making sure the trust fund has money so it won't go bankrupt in 10 years. So that's what's in front of us right now. So the two major options that we're hearing about, the first thing is raising the cap, the payroll tax cap. And so if you raise that cap, and this is what Senator Bernie Sanders wants to do, he wants to raise a cap for people making over $250,000. So if you make over $250,000, you have to start paying into the payroll tax again. The way it stands right now, you pay into the payroll tax until you reach $160,200. Once you reach that level, you no longer have to pay into the payroll tax. And so what Bernie Sanders wants to do is he wants to start taxing those people making $250,000 or more. So basically, if you make less than $160,200, you're paying into the payroll tax automatically. And then when you reach that point where you make $250,000 or more, you're also paying into that payroll tax. So there'll be a little gap in between. So let's say if you make $180,000, that portion over $160,200, you don't have to pay into the payroll tax. But once you hit that $250,000 level, that's when you'll pay into the payroll tax. That's what Senator Bernie Sanders wants to do. Now, by doing this, this would allow for an increase, a $200 a month increase for people receiving Social Security. And that's all he wants to do. That's the whole plan that he has. Now, when it comes to what some Republicans have been talking about is they want to raise the full retirement age. And by raising the full retirement age, it will help when it comes to funding the trust fund, and so the trust fund won't run out of money. But we've heard of raising the full retirement age. This is not something that's immediate. This is something that's going to happen over time. And so you're probably going to have to do something else. You can't just raise that full retirement age. And that's why we're hearing this bipartisan group right now talk about what are the options. We can raise a full retirement age, but we have to do something else. And what they're talking about is investing a portion of Social Security, or at least backing investments through Social Security. So basically what that means is they're going to make these investments, basically borrow the money to make the investments, but Social Security will back it. So if the money, if let's say the stock market crashes, well, that will mean that you'll have to pull some money from Social Security, or you're going to have to raise taxes. Basically, what I think they'll have to do is raise taxes, because you can't really pull money from Social Security, because if you pull money from Social Security, then now you're going to see those cuts to Social Security. So I don't think they would do that. I think that it would be some type of a stabilizer that would come into play. And that's when they would have to actually raise taxes, raise the payroll tax. Because one other thing, looking at just the cap, that's one thing when it comes to raising taxes. But you can also just raise taxes, raise the payroll tax. Right now it's 6.2%. So if you're working, you're paying in 6.2%. Your employer's also paying a 6.2%. What they would do is they could just tax that and say instead of 6.2%, now you're paying 7.2%. And your employer is paying 7.2%. And that would allow them to collect more revenue that way. So these are the two options, the two viable options that are on the table. The good news is that both options, they're talking about an increase for Social Security. So this bipartisan group that's talking about raising the full retirement age and investing a portion of Social Security, they are offering an increase as well. They haven't told us what exactly that increase would look like. We don't even know how they would phase in this full retirement age, raising that full retirement age up. How long is that going to take before they phase it in? Or basically, what's the cutoff? If you were born in 1978, do you meet the cutoff or not? So those are some of the questions that we don't know yet. But they are both talking about increases to Social Security, which I think is really good, because if they're both talking about an increase to Social Security, that would mean that any plan that comes from this point on is probably going to have that increase, because that's something that the politicians have looked at and said, okay, this is something that we want to offer, both Republicans and Democrats at this point. And so this is really good news for people who are currently receiving Social Security and struggling, because now there could be some help on the way, and it could be in the very, very near future. And so we're going to have to follow both plans and see where they go. And I'll definitely give you the information as soon as we find out more information. I'll let you know. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. And I've had some people in the comments say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. The reason that I put out these videos, and the reason that I'm talking about these different plans that are out there, is because I want you to know what these politicians are talking about. You might be in a situation where you hear a plan and you think, this is a great plan, I want this to move forward. Contact your congressperson. I have the links in the description. You can call your congressperson and tell them, I want this plan. I want Senator Bernie Sanders' plan, or I want this bipartisan group. I want their plan. And so that's why I'm giving you this information. If you wait until it actually happens, it's too late. Because once politicians get this on paper and they start moving it forward through Congress and they pass it through Congress, it's too late. And so it's good for us to find out the information now, find out what they want to do now. And if we want to make any tweaks, or if we want to at least let our politicians know that we're unhappy with portions of the plans that they have, we can do that. And hopefully it will make some change. But if we wait until after they start moving this through Congress, it's going to be too late. And so that's the reason why I like to bring this information to you in the talking stages, when these politicians are just talking about it, because that's when tweaks can be made to these different plans. And so this is what we're currently looking at when it comes to Social Security reform. And this is a good time, because within the last month, we've seen really a lot of interest when it comes to Social Security reform. And I think this is due to the State of the Union address, when President Biden brought this to the floor and said that some Republicans wanted to make cuts to Social Security. Republicans took offense to that. And so now Democrats and Republicans are trying to work together to figure out some type of a solution, because no one wants to be on the side of cutting Social Security, or at least I won't say no one, but there are a lot of politicians that know that that is political suicide to be on the side of cutting Social Security. And so now they're trying to figure out some type of a plan forward. Now let's talk about how this would move through Congress. Right now, the Senate is taking this up. And so what this would mean is the Senate would pass the bill, send it to the House, and then we'll have to see what happens in the House. We don't really know if the House is going to pass this bill, so whatever the bill is. So it's going to be hard to figure out how they're going to move about. But we know that when it comes to the Senate's being run by Democrats, the House is being run by Republicans. The Republicans don't even have to bring whatever bill goes to the House. They don't even have to bring it to the floor if they don't want to. Now, if it's a bipartisan bill, there's a better chance of this actually being brought to the floor in the House. And so that's why we're pushing for a bipartisan bill, whether it be Senator Bernie Sanders' plan, or if we're looking at this new plan with the bipartisan group. The bipartisan bill would probably have the best shot of passing. Senator Bernie Sanders' plan, it's going to be tough. But what we could see is parts of Senator Bernie Sanders' plan go along with this new bill, whatever this new plan is going to be. And so we'll know more information in the very near future. President Biden will also be proposing his budget. So that's something else that we're going to be paying attention to, because that's going to have a lot to do with how we move forward when it comes to Social Security and what they want to do. So we'll be paying attention to that as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.